Hello and welcome back to the most amazing channel on the internet. I am your host Rebecca Felgate, and today we are taking things back to basics as we talk the top 10 scary pictures that have to have been photoshopped. And I'm like, they almost certainly have to be, because what if they weren't? What happens then? The world would be a much scarier place. While we go through this video, why don't you guys let me know in the comments section down below which photos you think have definitely been photoshopped and which you find the scariest. I honestly don't know what I would do if these were real. It's too scary. Stick around to the end because I'm going to be replying to comments, and if you haven't yet left a thumbs up, please do it. Coming in at number 10, we have tiny hole disease. The bad people of Photoshop invented a horrible disease in order to trigger people with trypophobia, the fear of tiny holes. I actually really don't like a tiny hole, this much I know. So people with trypophobia will be afraid of little holes in symmetrical patterns. A lot of the time this is kind of the sickening symmetry that you can find in nature, like in honeycomb or certain plants. For example, meet the lotus pod. It actually makes my stomach turn. Remember the lotus pod for just one moment. Obviously when it comes to tiny holes in the skin, then that just hammers the fear home, right? The only way in real life you can get anything close to holy skin is by like kneeling on a bag of peas. Or is it? My friends, have a look at this. Lots of people have delighted in photoshopping grotesque holes onto people's skin, and that makes me feel absolutely not okay. The humble lotus pod has even been used to generate a horrifying looking skin condition that thankfully doesn't exist. Okay, can we stop looking at this now? Please. Coming into number 9, we have Voldemort. Could it be magic? No. No! Does anyone else here remember Take That? I feel like America never had the pleasure of the British boy band, but whatever, I stand by the reference and I just like to sing in the middle of lists. Honestly, it makes this whole dark Photoshop thing a lot easier to deal with. So remember when Dobby the house elf was spotted on security camera in the middle of the night? Well, I'm thinking that there's some kind of Hogwarts back from the dead resurgence going on, because this is something happening with Voldemort. I think that there's a poor soul with a Voldemort stuck on the back of his head. I guess that actually this is a black and white photo, so perhaps it predates the whole Professor Quirrell and Voldy era. For those of you who have forgotten, it looked a lot like this.
Bravery. Your parents had it too.
Like, what is going on with the evil on the head? Is this some kind of pre-Voldemort? Is this a wizard thing? I don't like it. This is one of the first examples of horror Photoshop. Coming into number 8, we have the 9/11 plane. This picture went viral on the internet and purportedly captured the moment just before one of the hijacked planes hit the World Trade Center. It shows a tourist unaware of his impending fate and the imminency of the moment that would change the world forever. Note the date on the picture. This image was actually unleashed to the world 2 weeks after the 9/11 attack and spread like wildfire over the internet at a time that people were still very much grieving. So did this picture capture the final moments of a man's life? Well, no. There are some digital imperfections that are visible to the trained eye, but beyond that, the man is wearing a coat, and I'm not sure if you've ever been to New York during the month of September, but it just isn't coat weather. Also, the observation deck doesn't open until 9:30 AM, so there wouldn't have been anyone up there yet. The plane also looks like it's approaching from the north, but the North Tower didn't have an outdoor observation deck, so it absolutely couldn't have been there. The plane isn't the right model either, so basically it was fake and nasty, and I have no idea who would do this and why. The image came from a Hungarian man called Peter, who claimed that it was indeed him as the tourist guy. He created the viral image. Honestly, for me, I think that's really sick. Why would someone want to do that? Things were getting a little heavy there for a second, so let's change up the tone a bit and talk about this absolute poop leader at number 7. I remember this image going viral. It seems to show a cheerleader who experiences a nasty case of diarrhea in the middle of a game. Unfortunate, especially when you're being hoiked into the air. Can you even imagine? A lot of people thought that this image was real. The look of the shock on the cheerleaders on the right hand side certainly make it seem like it could be, although, I mean, I've never seen poop that liquidy. It turns out, thankfully, this is fake. But the scary thing is that this poor girl was shamed. One commenter, Kintinka Min, wrote, "You can ruin someone's life with this sort of thing. I actually saw this image and believed it, and I felt deeply sorry for the girl. Imagine if this really happened and the whole world laughing about it, and now she has to run around explaining that actually this isn't real, right?" Okay, even grosser still at number 6, we have blue waffle. No, I'm not actually going to show you these Photoshop images because honestly, internet people be nasty, and trust me when I say you can live without it. You'll actually have a much better life. Let me tell you though a little bit about one of the original Photoshop troll trends. Blue waffle became a thing in the early 2000s. It is allegedly a sexually transmitted disease that leaves both male and female nether regions looking pretty messed up. Messed up with a bluish tinge. Great. So anyway, a lot of photoshopping of body parts went on, leading people to believe that it was legit. Many people, especially kids, were actually worried about the disease, so many that a doctor felt compelled to make a video about it.
Blue waffle disease is not a thing.
Okay, what else we got? A giant spider and pals are coming into number 5. I don't like spiders, but I am gonna call BS on this straight away. This is scary to look at, but honestly I take comfort in the fact that there is no way that this is real. The image was clearly taken in a house of some kind. A spider is on the ceiling. The thing is though, the biggest spider in the world is the giant bird-eating spider, and 1, it isn't even that big, and 2, it lives in the rainforest of northern South America, so you're very unlikely to see one ever. I would say sleep easy, but I think that the small spiders are real, and that's also gross. Coming into number 4, we have this old ghost. It's an old chestnut, it's an old ghost, I've seen it a lot of times. Have a look at this picture. It's usually accompanied by short stories like this. Back in the 1950s, the Cooper family from Texas moved into their new home, but something was amiss. Once there, they took a family photo, but when they got the picture developed, there was an image of a body falling from the ceiling. On further investigation, the story has brought no plausible explanation. There have been many speculations, including one that argues that the shadow is the ghost of the previous owner of the house. The film was proved as authentic, so what's going on? For me, it's all very Amityville horror, right? No prizes for guessing that of course this image turned out to be photoshopped. The real image is just of a nice family, sitting down, sans ghost. Oh, hey there Slender Man. How are you doing at number 3? I feel like you can't get through a scary top 10 list without reference to Slender Man, so here he is. Slender Man is an internet urban legend that crawled forth from a creepypasta posted on a forum by Eric Knudsen in 2009. The tall, thin humanoid with no facial features piqued the interest of many internet users, so it was only a matter of time before they started photoshopping him into pre-existing images and spreading scary news stories. For example, here is Slender Man seen lurking in the shadows at the back of a group of kids. Here he is responsible for a child's abduction. Here he is having started a school fire. Slender Man, he gets everywhere. Okay, we are heavily on the internet creepypasta wagon here. Coming in at number 2, we have Jeff the Killer. I feel like most of you will recognize this image. Jeff. Jeff the Killer emerged from the internet in 2008, and the story usually goes a little something like this. There was a boy at school, he was terribly bullied, he mutilated his own face and went on a killing spree. Things escalated kinda quickly. He even murdered his own brother, to whom he whispered the words, "Just go to sleep." Horrifying stuff. Right. Sure, creepypasta. It was all over the internet. This is the image used to depict Jeff the Killer, but actually the image is photoshopped from a picture of an innocent young girl. Here is the original. It turns out that the reveal of the real image actually even sparked a new urban legend of its very own. The story then went that the exaggerated and photoshopped image of the teenage girl upset her so much, and she was bullied so hard for being the face behind Jeff the Killer that she herself actually took her own life. Now, I'm actually pretty sure that that part of the story isn't true, but either way, turning a girl into a grotesque caricature just like that isn't okay. I honestly think that Photoshop is scariest when the image is given context, given a story. This Photoshop image at number 1 was so compelling that it made the story seem very believable, and well, I think it's fake. I certainly hope so. Coming into number 1, we have the Russian sleep experiment. The Russian sleep experiment was, according to internet lore, a hospital experiment that was said to have taken place in Soviet Russia. The Soviets were experimenting on political prisoners during World War II. Now, we know that they did do this in some form in real life. Russian doctors allegedly used sleep deprivation as torture and studied its effects. Now, prisoners were told that they would be freed if they took place in a 30-day experiment. To cut a long story short, at the end of the experiment, those still alive could no longer be described as human or even human looking. When asked what they were, one of the subjects reportedly smiled and said, We are you. We are the madness that lurks within you all, begging to be free at every moment in your deepest animal mind. We are what you hide from in your beds every night. We are what you sedate into silence and paralysis when you go to the nocturnal haven where we cannot tread. I don't know. Cool. So what does the madness inside of your head look like? Good question. Something like this, apparently. Ah! Horrifying, right? I almost believed this story when I saw this picture. That was until I saw the original image. It turns out that the famous Russian sleep experiment image actually comes from a real horrifying movie prop called Spasm that was photoshopped to look like it was a prisoner. Lovely. Great. Horrifying. Ugh. Well guys, I think we've all learned a lesson today involving believing what we see on the internet. Not all scary images are fake, but it does serve us to pay better attention to what might be, especially when we're living in a world of deep fakes. So guys, which image do you think was the scariest? Let me know in the comment section down below. Speaking of comments, before I go, I'm gonna read some comments from the scary glitches in the Matrix that will make you question reality. Mita Verma said, there should be a top 10 scary experiences that have happened with Rebecca Felgate. 161 of you agreed, so I don't know, would you watch it? Should we make a whole video about it? I have had some spooky experiences, but really, it's just scary being me. I'm a bit like, you know? You can see. Nathan Ford wrote, I had a really weird thing happen to me recently. I was applying for jobs and was called to have a phone interview. The interviewer asked me why I'm switching departments, and I was really confused because I've never worked for this company before and they're telling me I currently work for them. I was really nervous, but I brushed it off. They confirmed my address and phone number and email that I used for the application. They also confirmed previous work experience. They stated that actually I'd been working for them for 5 years. Really weird. Like, so weird, but I absolutely love the most amazing community here because you guys had some great replies. Will Valdez said, maybe you should just show up there one day and see what happens. Like, I think do that. MR said, cash in that vacation time. Actually, do that. That's great. Paid vacation, right? Nice if you can get it. And Lucifer Morningstar said, go collect your paychecks. Oh my god, do it, right? They already think you work there, so why don't you just, I don't know, go drink the free tea and coffee and get your money, honey. That's my advice of the day. Thank you guys for watching this video. Do let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. If you haven't yet subscribed, then do so right now and become part of our most amazing family. I'm your host, Rebecca Felgate, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!